After our stride or positive move, we now move on to the next step in the hitting process is our pivot and transfer into the baseball. Now, one thing that's very, very important, guys, is that when we stride out and before we go to pivot and transfer to the baseball, okay, is that we anchor into the ground with our front side. Our whole foot must be down. Okay, some of the coaches like to say getting into heel plant. That heel plant has to anchor into the ground before we can start our back side. Now, one thing that I mentioned in the previous video is that once our front foot hits, all right, and we get to heel plant, there's no more forward movement with our body. Okay, it's very important, guys, to have our head and keep our head as still as possible. You got someone on the mound throwing 90 plus miles an hour. Now you're moving forward to it, and you're now making 90 look like it's 95. Okay, the calmer we keep our head and the more still we keep our head, the easier it is to hit the baseball. Plain and simple. Now, once we get to heel plant or we anchor into the ground, okay, we pivot our back side to the baseball. Okay, I like to tell a lot of my kids, pretend I'm drilling a pole straight down the middle of their body. When they rotate to the baseball, they're spinning right around that pole. Okay, now there's a lot of discussion about how to rotate that back side. The old term is squish the bug. A lot of coaches will say go up on your toe. Okay, I don't necessarily teach squish the bug. I like the term for the younger kids because it really gets them to rotate their backside. In my lessons, I use the term pivot. Okay, so we've got to rotate our back foot, back hip to the baseball. Now, if any weight on our back foot gets on the outside part of our foot, it's going to stay back. Okay, so what I like to tell a lot of kids is that pretend you're spinning right around your big toe. So you're finishing right here with our heel up, okay, not caught back. All right, a lot of times when we squish the bug, we get caught back right here and our heel isn't up. Okay, now play with this a little bit. If you have a hitter that is jumping forward big time, sometimes I will tell him to squish the bug because then he meets right in the middle. Okay, I'm all about teaching over-exaggerations. If one guy's over-exaggerating this way, I bring him back the other way, and hopefully we can meet in the middle. Once he gets that down, then we talk about the correct position. All right, a lot of times as coaches, we do too much, and we coach too much of the player where they turn into a complete head case. And you'll hear me later explain the mental side of hitting and how that is the most important thing in front of the mechanics. Okay, so make sure when we're teaching our backside rotating into the baseball, all right, kids don't get caught back and kids don't go forward causing their head to move forward. All right, the simplest way to explain it is put all that pressure on the ball of your foot and your back toe and just rotate right around it, keeping your front side strong. Very, very important this front side stays strong when we go to our pivot to the baseball.
All right, guys, for our pro example, we got Troy Tulowitzki back on the screen here. We're going to take you through his stride, getting to heel plant, and his pivot and transfer here. All right, now, I want you guys to notice as we stride out, all right, he gets his front side down, and he anchors into the ground. Okay, from here, he's going to have no more forward movement. I'm going to draw a circle as best as I can around his head. I want you guys to notice after he gets his front side down, okay, from here, he's firing his back knee, okay, and his back foot. You see all that weight on his back foot, all right, is on the inside part of his foot. He's spinning around his big toe or the ball of his foot, okay. One thing that I talk about in my lessons all the time, and I've mentioned it previously a couple of times, is that we fire our lower half before our upper body starts. Okay, you can see here the first thing that starts his swing, okay, after he gets his front foot down is he's firing that back knee, back hip, and his back foot, all right, without going forward. That's very, very important. We don't want to make 90 look like it's 95. Okay, we want to keep our head as still as possible. Fires his backside. He pivots his backside to the baseball, okay? Very, very important, guys. I love using this example with my youth hitters. Not only is he a big name, but this video, he does it absolutely fantastic, okay? He's got a strong front side, okay? And he's getting into what we call, and what I tell all my kids, a power L with that back knee or back leg. Okay, strong front side, back side is our power L. All right, he's pivoting and transferring his weight into the baseball in these steps. Okay, with his lower half starting before his upper body. Okay, very, very important. And as you'll learn in the next video, we get into our hand and bat path. Okay, we cannot get to the proper hand and bat path if we fire our upper body before our lower body. Okay, it's very, very important, guys. I will not move kids on or advance kids in my lessons until they understand this concept. Lower half fires before our upper body with a strong front side pivoting around the ball of our foot and the big toe. Okay, as you see here, he goes up on his toe. His backside actually moves a little bit. He's a pro hitter, guys. He's fantastic with this. I like to keep my youth hitters having their back foot anchor into the ground. I feel like if amateur hitters try to duplicate this swing, a lot of times they end up moving forward. That creates more of an issue, and they actually have less power. So, in recap, strong front side, getting to a power L with his backside. All right, keeping his head as still as possible.